Yes, folks.
Yes. Blessed. New calendar year to everybody who tuning into the Afroview. We shall share here with Karen Baba, Master Baba. And we introduce him with first guest to the Afroview. The big brother. The big brother of Artistry. Alpha Kindred.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. Nice.
To the younger part of the audience who might know, tell them who Omari is now.
Well, we'll see. Like I say, half a kindred. For a lot of people, but I teach young people too, so sometimes they say, well, somebody else teachers may say, look, this Omari was part of kindred, and so a lot of them don't know, so I had to kind of put it in context for them. Kindred was part of the Kiskini Caravan, but more important than that, it was a little before that. It was part of a group of 4 artists on a compilation called No Compromise. And that was Kindred, General Grant, Geturians, and Sister Run. Right?
Big names.
Yeah. And at that point in time, the significance of it was we were local acts doing your own thing outside our carnival. And particularly for us Kindred, we had a different vision from even the rest of people we talk about, right? Because they were strictly into entertainment and very good at it. But we had a mission.
Which was?
Our mission was we were Kindred was really the Ministry of Education for pro-black youth. Right? So as young men, me and Akinde,
give me a year frame.
This was, we just start pro-black youth in about 1989. Right? And we patterned it after the Black Panther Party. Right? And the Black Panther Party was set up in terms of Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, that kind of thing. So our role in pro-black youth was to spread the message. Via the music. Well, it wasn't that originally, it was to spread the message. And so we started thinking, boy, if we go and start to preach this Africa thing, that we brethren and them we want to hear we. So we had to figure out a way for them to hear we. So we said we would put it in music because we were already musically inclined.
Right.
So we said the best way to do it
is music.
Musically. So we set about that. That was the mission. That never changed. You know what I mean? We stay, but of course you have to be smart with it, and we eventually develop a formula, right? Which me and Akinde used to say, well, listen, the chorus is them own, but the verses we own. So we used to make sure that we chorus and then everybody could sing along, they could get on by the thing. But when we say anything inside, it had to be saying something, and it always was, not necessarily always a heavy message, but it was. Let me give you an example. So plenty of people know Kaya. Right? So people say, well, what's the message in that? I say, well, at that point in time, every song with a woman was a jamshi. And if I hold you tonight, and them kind of thing. And I say, I wanted to show a different side of that. You could like a woman and just compliment you and let you know you're hotter than fire, But when you listen to the lyrics, you understand? Well, for she a fall. You know? A week like a 7 days, it's Trinity. Right? So it was just showing you, well, look, you could approach them this way too. Rather than, right. So everything that we did, the very first song, This Trinity Could Flow, was really to give a Trinidadian youth. You don't have to talk Jamaican, you don't have to talk Yankee, and you could be bad just like them.
So let me say something to you. With your grace and everything, you always part of the grandfathers and grandmothers. Some of the ideas in it that we have in music, we might not agree with all. I certainly don't agree with all.
No, I need to say the grandfather because to say that would be disrespectful. Who come before we because we standing up on them shoulder.
No. But I want to take away. I'm taking away from that. I call it grandfather because for me.
Right, that is time.
That is time. I don't know.
The reality
I don't know. Nobody's singing in the Trini twang to a different type of beat besides calypso and soca. All is the first for me.
Right. So yes, it would have been significant. As a matter of fact, in them time, right? We come out of hip hop, right?
Right.
We was meant this in front. You understand? Like, so we come out of that. We come out of that. You know what I mean? But I always, my parents and them, it didn't have a calypso record that comes. So my thing is that too. So again, I also have music a lot. I get me kai so many things, but as a youth, I listening to the message.
Lyrics, yeah.
Africa Bambada, I listening to them fellas. So that is my inclination. My inclination is towards Yankee, talking Yankee, singing Yankee. And then I start to analyze it slowly but surely. I say, but wait, the most hip hop thing you could do is represent where you're from.
Yeah.
You understand? I said, even in American hip hop now, and I show plenty of you that, I said, look how the South don't try to sound like
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
You understand? Them going hard with the country to an early and thing they were talking about, no? Right?
Yeah.
I said, so when you think about it, and the West does represent the West and whoever does represent them, I said, so when you thinking about that, you have to study where you from. You understand? And so what happened was there was something called Youth Fest.
Yeah.
And Youth Fest was, I think at that point in time was who was the big bands boy? CNC Music Factory. Right? Was coming down, and they had a group called the Boys that was under a kind of R&B group with some youth men and things. So CNC Music Factory and the Boys was coming to perform in this Youth Fest that Express had, I think, was the sponsor. And they had a competition. So Gage from Ghettoians was going down to enter the competition. So them days, we had a whole hip hop fraternity. All of us used to hang with the thing. They said we're going down there. So when we go with you. You didn't go in and enter, but when we started hearing quality, I meant thing. You watch my brethren, you watch me, we better than all of them. Right? All of them. And then a man come over, I said, just let me a beat there. Right? And we borrow the man beat and we mash up the place. So we get in the competition now. The competition is to perform on stage.
Right.
With CNC Music Factory and the Boys. Right? So that is telling you. So we say, right. But it was, what ended up happening was me and some brethren who had a hip hop group called F1. So it was Kindred and F1 kind of come together. So we say, well, right, we'll go as Simply Dread for the competition. So we gone in. All that time we are still doing hip hop, think this and that. So I studied. I said, we have to stand out. I said, oh, you go ahead. They go there hip hop. And I go deal with it. So we go on. This registry again on there.
Yeah.
We gone now to do the music. The DJ was Shines of the LVT. Right? Yeah, he was the DJ. Right?
I don't even know he was a DJ.
Yeah. DJ first, you're a bad DJ too. So we take the breakbeat from Modern song called Take Me to. So we take that breakbeat for the chorus. So that breakbeat had a very tropical thing. And the rest of it was real hip hop style, but the hip hop style at that time was real dance. Right? CNC Music Factory was dance. So them fellas and them come out. Hey, man, this is a brand new type of jam. Just get up and they started doing their thing. And then Shine just scratched me in. And I dropped a piece of Rapso in the middle of the thing there. Listen, when the crowd is looking for that, they go whole day, hip hop. When that come in now and I just jump in, well, it's the music and the mother and rocking your nation, radio station to radio, madness. So the place going on now, and I didn't know this, Guess who is the one of the judges now? Lutalo Masimba Resistance. Peter Blood and somebody else are judging that. Well, I don't know. When they see that, because they come to judge, when they say that I open big so, right, we win. We beat everything, right? And so we go in on stage. Now, mind you, this is the first national performance. 50,000 people. You understand? You're watching that thing and their leg and them can't keep still at all. But from the time I climb up and I hit the stage, that was it. That was the only time I ever get stage fright in my life, and that was the NI. Right? We do we thing, we perform. Of course, you're not treating us stand up and watch it because they don't know who he is. But we get a little love. But in that moment, I knew I was never going back to doing what I was doing before. right? And in making that decision, some of my brethren who was in that same hip hop collective, right? There was plenty hip hop groups, plenty hip hop, all of men, and men like my around that time who was other hip hop men around used to be Just Chase, Turbis was La Beat, was La Beat and them, they all them, so and we had a closer group called Africity with some brothers from around Sawa, St. Joseph thing, and we used to meet up and discuss. So when I tell them, I say, I done that thing. They started laugh at me. Boy, you going to Rapso, but nobody gonna wanna hear that. What is the thing? And that is what did I get mad now. And we went up Nicholasville where a Kindred was from, and I sit down on that mango tree and we write this lyrical flow. Under that anger, I can let them know. Don't get tired.
Yeah.
We lyrically bad. But we something like ourselves.
What tell you this as you mentioned, Nicholasville. I grew up on Mission Road.
Right.
I used to see all you. And want to come and tell all you, hey, I find all the real bad boy, you know what I But when I never woke up, I never the walking road normally,
right.
Never woke up the courage to just walk up to two brothers and say, hey.
Well, let me tell you a funny story about that. You see that same kind of energy? The first time we went on TV, we went on Dateline, Alison Hennessy. We do an interview, perform, right? Them days, you know, you turn all that TV thing, you're still jumping on your maxi. Drop out by 3rd Avenue on the bus shoot. And walk up 3rd Avenue, right? You walk up 3rd Avenue and we walking up. Then we hit Himalaya. A man run across the road. Boy, I could give you autographs and everything. I said, boy, be going from here now, boy, because I think him coming to Mama Guy me now. And the man face drop, he said, what are you getting on so bad? I realized the man serious. We going Trinidad, they really looking for that kind of level.
Yes, so the reason why I mentioned that too is because it happened to me. It happened to me not on the level of autograph, but on the level of showing that kind of respect that I wasn't expecting. When I come back from doing the show in New York, you know, a man congratulate me, but I guess so much of sarcasm over the years and thing now.
You know how to take it.
You say the same thing all them years. So on the Afro view, that one of the some of the things we want to address in the community now. You know, we even how to put it, but normal enough for one another to be able to just congratulate a man and a man take it as congratulations.
We have to drill past that. We have to get past that. It's something I tell people. With my brethren and thing, I just normalize. I just tell my brethren normal. I love them because it's a kind of thing we could go about. And brethren is brethren. And a man in your corner, you have to let know you love him.
Facts.
You understand? And we have a kind of way we feel that is supposed to happen, and also that next thing. I just deal with plenty of artists, and I remember Shadow Son, Shalom Bailey as manager, right? When you know come in the business. You always tell people are running, right? You do that, say now you have to go back and come back and you wanted to learn production. Now once you're serious with me, I have no secrets, Once you come serious with me, I teaching you everything. I'm not holding back nothing.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Right? So I tell him, I say, well, come through now. And he started watching him. I said, well, boss, what's going on? So you are the continuation because you will be a better musician than I could ever hope to be. Now that people can't let that come out of them out. Right? And that is something we have to start to practice. When you see a man with that kind of talent, you have to let him know his potential. You have to let him know because he might know, he might be still in the stage of doubting himself.
You have to encourage.
You have to let him know, well, listen, you will be better than I ever could hope to be. That's the real thing, and we have to start to deal with one another on that level. You see, because we always, I don't believe in a finite pie.
Correct.
I don't believe in a finite pie. Look, you don't do t-shirt, I don't do t-shirt. It could never have so much competition in the thing that I could block you from something. You understand what I'm saying?
So before I go on to where we want to go, you see what you say there, no matter why it's so important for me, right? Because I had that fear of the finite pie. Plus add to people's reaction to me, right? I go on an event when I just launched the line. While I'm packing out my t-shirts and setting up, a next group of fellas come with t-shirts too. We New Year. But you know, I bought me. I talk about the clothing line is about a few months old. It's not 6 months. I bought me. things setting up. What? I started watching how nice them set up is, thing.
You started out
I
yourself
look
one
back at,
time.
I read out, that whole day was dope, but I look back at that now and I want to tell you it's the same thing now because let me use Chinese people in Trinidad and Tobago, right? We will pass down between 3 blocks and see 5 Chinese restaurants. I come to the main road from Pittsburgh by and Bush Street corner to Sawa. If you see Chinese restaurants, Chinese grocery especially too.
Yeah.
I don't see no Chinese stand up outside watching up the next one, watching up to the next grocery board and look at how many people going in. And they still keep coming.
Yeah.
So that means they have for all of me.
That's right.
But then I have to look at it the same way.
Yeah.
Because
That's what it is.
I mean, you ain't telling to take from me and I shouldn't be trying to take from you. I shouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
That's really important.
And
Actually.
it's critical that we understand that even musically, there are certain brothers who I work real hard to get my studio. I work real hard. Because I wasn't in this time when I computed that studio. I was in studio time.
Yeah.
Right? So when I spend that money to get my studio, I work real hard, but there's certain youth men come around me and show me they have the drive. They just come and say they want to do it and they really want to do it. But certain ones come around and I just say, look, come and check. Come sit down.
Yeah.
Let me show you this. Because at the end of the day, not finite. And I also had the confidence in myself now. I just always tell people,
Sure.
if I start 19 business, it means I can start 20. Right? And I doing business since I leave school. I leave school and doing business. I used to send belly ball.
Yeah.
Right? From school and I talking about we making it. We buy a second-hand sealer, we buy some little plastic bag, we sealing it. We couldn't afford labels, so we used to print flyers because flyers was cheap.
Yeah.
We print the flyer, so we just repeat the name on the flyer, and then we cut that and we glue that onto the thing.
Yeah.
And then we put a dozen of them smaller pack in a bigger pack. And I remember I tell you, I from down in the back. So when we go into them places in the arena, we from the Bataria Industrial Estate. Because they don't want to deal with them, they don't want, every shop we go to in the early is telling me, now there's only them small companies that don't even. So we say, but you want to deal with. I say, alright, I say, well, charge chocolate and them down in the back there, we from down in the back there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, who tell you, in them days, we going hard.
Yeah.
It was hard work. So I always know business.
I want to go back, right? So take me from you started or they start off now with the rap, so they're not going back. But all they have a message that all they want to get forward, which is pro-black, black and proud, live a certain kind of way, black man. How will they incorporate that into all their music from that period?
Well, one of the things we used to do, I always tell people, I had to come to that understanding of who I am, right? And I always tell people that because I'm not African singularly in that sense, right? Because I grew up in Trinidad, so that's part of my identity too.
That's right.
Right? So what I used to do is think of how we could make this, because the music done African, so I used to think of how we could make this trading. You understand? And so we used to it was simple, you know, because then the sampling was a thing.
Right.
So we do a song called Don't Stop. Dance, the jump is for you, one for me. Move, this jump is for everybody. Jump.
Yeah.
And plenty people don't realize we sample Super Blue swing in that song.
Nah.
Swing, we go in left to right. We swing in so whole night.
No. So we used to do. How that song used to go? We used to go, which jam is the jam that come from which jam that had them out of control? And when the drum that is drum show you where you're from, you could run. But you can't hide. It make you dance from a dance where you never had a dance and you're feeling it deep in left to right. That's the jam. Yeah, boy.
So we used to put
Only get here on Afro view, eh?
Yeah, boy.
Because I never hear him say that nowhere else.
Yeah, we used to put them thing, and that song was so huge. That was the first time we come into Carnival. As a side thing, that was the first time Shell Shock come into Carnival. We bring him into Carnival, kicking and screaming. He didn't want no part of it. So we bring him in and we do that song. That year, everybody under 25, that was the road march under 25. Everybody knew me. We performed that year laundry and all kind of thing. Call to perform on the truck.
Yeah.
Thing that year was, but,
Really nice.
but no adults above 25 know we. That is still, man.
Right.
Because we want to take over the whole place.
Yeah.
So we say, you know what, we're coming for them next year. So here what we do. When we start to work on the song next year, this is the things that people don't recognize. We do a song called Kindred coming down, come to rule the tongue. Right? But that song built on an old time love way, which is the F jam. So I say, shut, before we do anything, play this for me. Play doom 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 doom. You start with that doom 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 doom, and we build the whole thing on that F jam, right? And now I always strategize. I say right, so they don't know why they like it, but they will like it.
Yeah.
Because
The pace. Yeah.
and it's coming back to the F jam. That F jam is and I say baseline just run on.
Yeah.
So we take the baseline and we go on with it. I say right. So once they hear it, they will can't escape. I say what else we go do? I say we will go and tour the schools. Then they not call a school tour, eh?
Nah.
And nothing call a school tour. So
Yeah.
we now start to call the school and tell them we come in. Right? But that is when I know the power what we do. And because we start at with Beatles level, I think I'm talking about. We used to be, the car used to be driving, we used to be running on the car, jumping in the car, the whole school.
Following you, yeah.
And then empty Providence. They never let me come back. Empty Providence. Providence, all them children and them running down the hill behind the car. But what we used to do is, the reason we were doing that wasn't because we wanted to go into school so much. We go in primary school, we go in secondary school. But because we know children just talk about who come in school today, to the parents.
Yeah.
So they used to go and say that thing, that Kindred coming in. Kindred. This Kindred is there. The next time they hear Kindred now,
So pay
oh,
attention.
that is who come. And that is how we mash them up. And that is how we come from being just youths now to the whole nation. Right? Because we always was warning me and I can do he said, nah, we had to give them strategy now. Right? And so that is how now we work our way into that kind of household name.
Right.
Within the, so people start from that year now, we start to pay attention. And we always used to work in them training elements, old time elements. Right? The language we would use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We used to be listening. That thing a week like a 7 days, I block talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Them kind of things. So we listen and we infusing that into the music. Right? We put in that into the music. And so that now used to give you a kind of, because no matter what, right? People want to see themselves represented.
Yeah, true.
No matter what is when you see yourself on TV, when you see yourself when you see you realize you're unrecognized, right? So that is what we were trying to do really. To represent here, but not in the way that people are accustomed to it now. Because we dress code was very specific. We used to be rocking a kind of particular. We still had the hip hop look, we have the baggy jeans and we boots and things, but the top and then it's tie-dye, African thing. You know what I mean? So people used to be watching that piece with a whole kind of imagery. And as early as that, we used to work with some brothers who were like their cousins in exile. In exile fashion, used to do all the clothes for me, and we had a little line called Kindred wear. Used to do bags, used to do little jerseys, used to do that thing. So, right? And in exile was sick. I talking about this brother. Up to now he's still bad, right? Richard who? Richard would have a tailor make that shoes for you. I see that man put together a buffalino thing. I see the man have a thing on it. I said, what is that? He said, I make this. I said, you make it. Brother, I talking about, and the man went and get down to the, you used to have a tractor sole.
Yeah.
The man get the tractor sole to and put it on the shoes. If you see the shoes, lick off my head, them days, them days two was cross colors and when you see that man put on an outfit for we so. But the man's sick.
Yeah.
The man's sick. So all of that now used to kind of level we up now. But it was also us without really thinking about it, building a community.
Right.
You know what I mean? Building a community, because what plenty people don't know, plenty of the Kiskedi caravan, I just tell people they had a tank bar area, right? Because it was Gage and them, was the group called F1, them was on Mission Road, and down the back by we, they had a group called WRSFM, to a hip hop group, them was Sour Segment, but from Akono, but all of we still line together, so once one of we get in, when I peep in the door, that was
Everybody
it.
else
Everybody the door open.
Yeah.
Right? Plenty people don't know that Kindred originally was Ozzy Merrick Magic from Homefront.
Yeah.
Kindiano Mari is Ozzy who gave Kindred the name Kindred. You know? But I think he was in UE at the time and he couldn't. So something happened. So when we pulled through to bomb Homefront too, right? So everything had to be like that, and it was we thinking we had our group was called, the wider group was called Harambe, right? We do some different things, you know. We start a whole we do a wasn't a barbecue, we used to call it a Zulu feast, right? Them days we doing that thing, right? So and we doing things like dashing pie and barbecue chicken, and then kind of right on 6th and 6th day to raise money. Then we do a excursion, journey to the eye of the triangle and all kind of thing. We telling nobody where they going, right? Too maxi full. But I think Harambe was doing was brothers looking at raising money to buy equipment to start your own studio.
Right.
Was young African brothers working towards a thing. As Harambe literally mean that pull together. Right? And so that was the kind of things we was doing, and instinctively too, you know, and also steel, sharpening steel, because when we discussing things, still at the shit talk, you know, but
I mean, we can get it from that, that part of the Trini culture, of course.
But you find what was happening is that men reading, men doing the work now, coming and so all of we discussing, you know, and that really elevate we. Now, one of the things when I first started reading, and near my journey is strange. A youth man, a young fella to me, right? He said, "Yeah, watch out this," and he showed me Malcolm X book, right? And I hear about Malcolm X because I like Bob Marley, and when I like something, I just do deep research in it. So I would just go to Bob Marley, I would go to Rastafari thing, I went to Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, I see Malcolm X, but I never, and then the youth man showed me that pose by the window, so you know that eye catching and thing, and I read that book. After I read that book, that was it, you know. I carry the same book in school to my brethren, and I say, yeah, that man is a real dread man, check him out. So I tell them, right? Because I know from the time they see the man when he gone and things. Them come back the same way now. They say, what we go do, boy? I say, well, let me start a book club and start a read. We start a read now, educating, exchanging books. That one brother couldn't take it. He started going on the book and thing he had because it mashed him up mentally now because it's so hard, you know, at that point
I know, you know, my point in time, you feel like kind of, but just before it, tell me two titles of books that
we in them time was Malcolm X, the autobiography, we do Stolen Legacy.
That is John G. Jackson.
Stolen Legacy was who, boy?
Oh.
Stolen Legacy and Van Sertima, I think they came before Columbus.
They came before Columbus and Van Sertima. Stolen Legacy.
I can't remember, but it was possible. Yeah, and there is kind of books. I think so. But there is the books now we trade in, right? Them days now still A-levels doing history, you know, so me and history clashing because they you understand?
Yeah. So when you read Ivan Van Sertima, they came before Columbus, and you go to school doing A history, that's a whole...
He know too, you know. Yeah. But he telling me now, but you have to write this to pass. I said, so why have to write this to them English people? Because you know you're young and you're fiery. So me and he clashing. He know too because you're watching him looking back now. I know he's a black power man, but he's trying to show me, boy, just to pass the people exam. So we reading and exchanging these books, and so we started. So but a youth man who younger than me, you know, who showed me Malcolm X, and then when I started reading Malcolm, and then I said, you know what, this still is the American struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We had to have a struggle here.
Yeah.
And so then I started to look inward. I started to look for men, Buzz Butler and thing and Kwame Ture come up and them kind of. But when the 70s thing come now, I started to ask for that. And that's when I started getting problems. We bringing that up for boy. We want to know what the elders, we want to know about that for. They start to black power thing. We want to go back there. Think the race thing, what you want to think, what are they digging up that for, what do you want to think? What are you studying that for? Nobody. So what real pressure I want to find out what really happened.
Yeah.
And this was 30 years ago, when it was like almost 20 years after. It's 50 years. 2020 was 50 years. They get where? Because I was going to do something very provocative and controversial for the fashion show we had in 2020. Because you saying that 19 to 20 years after 1970, when a lot of the players would have still be alive, it was hard to get information. Can you imagine our young people today, how hard it is for them to get, they will have it now, it's not taking the internet, but to get accurate information
And them
on that.
Remember we still youth, so we didn't know who to go and talk to to find the men who was there. Everybody, you know, I used to tell people, all I hear from all is I used to be in that. What used to be in that mean? You know, and I'm mad because them did that. I tell you, I'm fiery people.
I laugh because I like them.
I used to wear a button on my jersey. The days that the white man are numbered. That's how dread I was mentally now. You know what I mean? Because I'm reading these things and
you're feeling it too. As you say earlier, we stand up on the shoulders of our ancestors and you're reading some of them good show.
And so, I mean, it would take a while for me to kind of settle into it and say, alright, this is wasted, a lot of wasted energy in this anger. You know, you have to figure out a direction and all the things. So my initial spark was the best revenge is success. Right? Be successful. Set up yourself for success. And so I started. People didn't used to understand. I used to tell people Kindred is its own entity. That used to pay me and I came there. Right? That's the first thing. Because you know, the first set of money you make, anything, don't get serious. So we still working all the outfits, how that paying for, how much time you could wear that, and everything. We still work that out as a business now.
Right.
You know, hard knocks of course because nobody should be, so we making mistakes, stumble and everything, but we learning that this is our business.
Correct.
You know, and to be successful you have to do certain things, right? And so that was the thing. The other thing is too, we started to get into contact now with some of the elders. Right? So you're going, and you get a range of responses from the elders, right? From, I don't know, or you understand them drum beat, or they interfere with it. You don't understand that, or they play with thing, or they know, you know. I said, play with thing, I don't know. I said, it's my inheritance. I said, it's my inheritance. I said, I might know it as good as you, but I ain't playing no games with it. You understand? And so we get some of that, and then we get some encouragement. We get some different things too now. And so you went through a lot of disappointments from your elders, but you also meet some people who embrace you. One of the things I always tell people, entering Rapso was the most welcoming space I ever come into. Wasn't no them fellas, and they used to be calling me to come on show we even know about.
What's her name, sir?
Resistance, Carriga, Carriga quietly in the background, right? Really groom Kindred quietly.
Big brother Carriga.
Quietly. Yeah. And if you can't call me name and don't call Miss Carol because that team is a wicked team.
Prindella fashion.
Wicked team. And quietly he will come. I talk about simple things like this because remember 2 of me on stage. Because we energy. You see, boy, you give the cameraman a chance to take a picture. They come together. So when you go so come together now. And then once I come together, have some pictures now. You want to be in the papers or simple thing like that, but it's important because you don't know. You don't know. Sometimes you come. I find so. You be telling me over here, but you just gain you a word now. You know what I mean? Everything from price, how much I charge that man? You feel it, but simple. You know what I mean? Resistance is a man. Mary, check so, and just handle my responsibility now. Gain my responsibility. Come and do this, so, gain it. So them fellas never hold the thing close to the chest. They never, you know, sometimes you enter a world and it lock up.
Yeah.
Never.
That's still happening.
Yeah, never. So that is one of the things that fueled my philosophy too. I say, I get so I can't lock up on nobody.
Correct.
Right? I could never lock up on nobody. So we get some of that too. You know? And of course, all along them time, people talking on me too. But it's such a conscious thing on you on. People want to whine in the road. I say, you could whine in the road to my song. They does be whining in the road to my song. Right? But I have to say something.
Yeah.
I have to say something. I say, for me, I say this was never about fame, you know. And it was never about money. Right? It was never about money. If I wanted to make money, I could have stayed by TSTT. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was about that.
No, I said never about that. I said I have a mission. I have a mission and it's critical. I said I want to show people a different way to kind of link them back to the true self now. And of course, you know, about this race thing, everybody, you know, he's Trini. I say, yeah, he's Trini. You can't be more Trini than me. But I'm an African man in Trinidad. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, and that's it.
And when I stand up in that, I stand up in my strength.
Yeah.
I say, and that don't mean I excluded nobody, you know, or I hate nobody.
Yeah.
You know that the first thing
that's the first thing
and I say that is only do that to try and shut down a conversation or a movement or something.
But you see, also we do have the things that other races have, right? And so we do have the Mandir, we do have the mosque, right? To a certain extent.
Well, let me add this to that. I wouldn't say we don't have it, but the same fight you fight in A levels where you're reading one history and they're teaching you one thing is the same thing, because today as our Risha Devoti, I could send you by 10 different parlays.
Right, but you see, like today.
Yeah, like today.
Right?
Yeah,
like today.
Yeah.
And remember, and even today, there is a stigma to that.
Right. That's why I mentioned
it diminishing.
Yeah.
But
Like
the stigma,
but
the average Indian, the average thing, had no
And
problem
no
with
problem
the
at all,
even if
at
they're
all.
not a Hindu.
Yeah.
Even if they're not a Hindu, even if they're Presbyterian or whatever,
Muslim, yeah.
they're not getting no horrors with that.
Yeah, that's right. This is an experience I was always talk about. Working TSTT, traveling home from Chin City Mall, from Cane Farm to Mokoya, and never forget jumping a maxi. The elderly Indian man in full Islamic way. Islamic way. And you see the Islamic writing and thing in the maxi. The driver. Look, at that time, I'll be 60 something. But playing Hindi music.
Yeah.
And bopping that kind of way and thing. And I watch and I feel I appreciate why I see it. Because it showed me something else too now.
Of course.
It showed me that he religiously he's a Muslim. But he knows
Culturally.
He's an Indian, yeah.
Culturally. And you see, that is one of the things we just hold on so tight to Jesus, right? So tight. And let me make the point, nothing wrong with that. But it can't be to the detriment of yourself. It cannot be to the detriment, and that's one of the things. And you see, in those spaces, you could develop almost like if you want to send out a message, you could send out a message and it reach crystal clear. If we try to send out a message, no matter what we do, right? No matter what we do, the distortion start to come. You know, this African thing, and it's not easy to come out of it. Because let me tell you something. I grew up. My grandmother was spiritual Baptist, right? Still had the lean into the African thing, but you know, spiritual Baptist is kind of hidden, so it's under Christianity in a kind of way, right? Very, very. She was. My grandmother is she grandmother. Come straight from Africa. They never went through no slavery. Come with markings on your face and things, Belmont, them as well. Right? And she used to teach me things. She used to tell, she used to say she grandmother used to leave them home and go meeting. And say, well, Granny, where you can't come? She said, nah, African businesses beat with feathers. the kind of sayings I get from she, right? Meaning they're moving in silence and they consider you a Creole, right? So they hold it, you wait, you can't come to this yet, right?
Yeah.
So all them, but with all of that, when I started to grow my rasta, you know my grandmother betting on me? You understand what I'm saying? So that's how deep it was. And I think I talked that with you already as coming out of Christianity when I try to shake that out of me, right? I read in and I get into my African spirituality. But when I close my eyes to pray, I still going towards that Christian prayer. And so you just have to kind of purge yourself.
You have to.
Of that.
And then at the same time, it's not something that is happening overnight. I guilty of it. It was almost overnight for me because since I was younger, I've been asking certain questions. I like to read,
right?
And they give you the Bible to read, and the first few pages of the Bible make absolutely no sense to me logically. If it is that I read it as a story, it's a wonderful story.
Right.
But when you have to apply logic to it, and I talk about I was about 9 years old at the time, and the questions from the first 3 or 4 pages from the Bible from that age stick with me as I growing up, and and I must say that even though my mother is a religious person, she didn't force it.
Yeah.
And come on, no. I remember some of my fondest memories is my mother saying, "No, we used to live on Lavandi Road." And she 4 children, and she reading from it was a Jew. I learned as an adult it was a Jew with this Bible, an orange colored Bible, with pictures and things. And we sit up and my mother reading for you. I remember that it was good, and as I started to read African history, I was told by Africans, and I just want to make that clear. Because you learn the history as told by them and
by the victors,
right? Things just started click one time. My father called that an explosion in your DNA. You reconnect one time with your ancestors, and so it wasn't hard for me now. But as I grow older, I have to accept from seeing and listening. A shift is happening, a change is happening.
Slowly.
Your speed that you might know, the speed that I might want it to go, and not happening. Because you say something that is so. I mean, it's like if I tell you to say that because I just do my own printing for the clothing line.
Right.
If I just do my own printing, I mean I can print anything on a jersey. But it's more than money for me.
Of course.
So I will not go and print.
Of course.
Why did I test? Right? I put FU on a jersey. And put an anchor and go on my space where I sell. And put an anchor on one side and an Africa on the next side. And put the FU in the middle. And that Saturday in Arima, nearly everybody asks about the FU jersey.
Yeah.
So that tells me that will sell. But I can't do that because it's for me.
Yeah, it's more than that.
It's more than
it should have go at the front
exactly.
row. It's go at the front row. And one of the things I always tell people is we have to crystallize what we do, right? And by that I simply mean this. I print in Jersey, you print in Jersey, you are Baba. But I know what we're doing.
No.
That's not what we're doing. And this is from a business point of view. One of the things you have to do as a businessman is clarify what your business is. We business is not t-shirt, your business is not, right? Your business is image. Right? Image, and you looking, because when somebody come to you, they want a certain finish. So the medium just happen to be haircut.
Yeah.
What it means then that if tomorrow nobody were haircut, he have experience in image.
Yeah.
So he could then
branch into something.
right. Your t-shirt really is education.
Correct.
Right? It's really education. So if you sell a next t-shirt in your life, your thing is teaching people a particular thing, and you could do that through any medium. And sometimes you just get tired in the medium.
Yeah.
Right? Like I used to tell people, I say, my thing is identity. I like to bring some of my thing is training, some of my thing is, so it's identity. I looking for you to recognize it. I want to tell people something.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
but it's really identity I'm dealing with. So the t-shirt is the medium. So sometimes as a businessman, we just get tired in what we doing,
Yes.
rather than how we doing it.
Yes.
Right? Or how we doing it rather than what we
How
doing.
we doing it?
And it's critical that we recognize that. Because it means then, because if we can't get no jersey tomorrow to print on, what we go do? We have to figure out something.
So as we start there, right? Take we into Sagaboy Culture.
Well, Sagaboy Culture, from way back, remember I tell you we had Kindred,
Right.
and I always wanted to do a t-shirt line. But you know, everything always in a, if you know it, it's always magic, right?
Yeah.
Everything, once you know how we do it, it's magic.
Magic, yeah.
So and back in the days when I inquired, they didn't have this yet. Screen print. Screen print, of course, is numbers, and you have to commit to it, and you have to do all of that. But I have this passion. I want to do t-shirts. And that stay with me. And then I was doing my masters. I do my masters in creative entrepreneurship, right? See then, creative design entrepreneurship. And that master is a different kind of master. That they really knows what I write. How to write is.
You write it?
Yeah.
What?
But what it is you have to come with an idea and launch a business. That is what they're interested in.
Right.
You have to write it,
Yeah.
but they're not so interested in the writing. Come with it. So first thing I went with was an idea I ain't gonna say yet. Like I had it in my back pocket.
Yeah. That is.
But I said t-shirt. And then of course the cost I get into it and I said, you know what? And one thing they teach you in that is go for what we call instant startup. So don't try to figure out all the intricacies of it. When you want to do t-shirt, do a design and put it on the net and see if anybody likes it. And when you get the order, then go buy somebody and let them print. Rather than buy the machinery, get a t-shirt, take the thing, because I see, and anything you could do that with, right? Even services, because you could just do a landing page on the net and start to see how the interest is going. If you're doing face cream, you go buy a small pharmacy, you do one bottle, don't go buy Korea because Korea spend money. You do one bottle of thing, you present it, tell the man, listen, I want to work for you for about a week, don't pay me. All I want to do is put this bottle and show a couple of people and see if they like it, if they think if I could do that, please done. And you just think, and when it's working, so try this now and see, man. But instantly, you know if you have shit on your hand or if it's something that works, right? And that is how they're teaching you now. Do vacillate and all these things important.
Start where you are with what you have, right?
Market plan and all everything important. That will come after. But before you go into all of that, make sure your idea would pursue it. And so I just put it out and I start to see orders. I said, alright, and I used to go by my brethren in La Boqueta, gosh, I forget his name right now. A cool brother, he was one of the brothers who worked with Studio 53. Right? He was one of the producers. He produced Don't You Know
Sasha.
He produced Sasha, and actually he come and sit down by me when he started production and I teach him. So we kind of had a link from it, right? Jabari, right? Jabari is a printer and thing, right? And I used to go to him, and then I started to see, and of course, you do your research. I said, alright. And that must was a September. By December, I buy my plotter and the thing. And I started. By the following month, I pay back for my plotter and the thing, right? But one of the things Jabari self tell me, he said when he first started the line, he went screen printing. And he screened out a whole set of thing. And he said he ended up with a real expensive car wash rag. Because one of the beauties of this thing is that you don't have to commit. And you don't have to commit anything until somebody get your order.
That's right.
So you can have your blanks there. But if you decide you're going to print ahead of time and you're going to... So one of the things I tell people, I say it's not that screen printing don't make sense. But for me, this is one of the things you could do screen printing. You could do all different things. But what I tell people is look at it and see. It gives you a chance to see what's working. You have a chance to see what people. So it has certain. I'm sure you got that too. Certain designs you could print blind. You could just do because you don't know. That's selling.
Yeah.
Right? So it has certain my design that is just run. That others you put it out and you see who ordering and then right? So that is how it right.
Yeah.
So that is how it went for me. And then I started to refine it. What the concept I always had the concept of Sagaboy culture in my head because in my mind I still see my uncle, my great uncle and them
Sagaboys.
clean.
Crispy.
That the thing.
Yeah.
Other bad man uncle, but bad man long time, right? Cool handle gone and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Clean bowl, a hat and them kind of things. So it stick with me because the idea of this race that's not supposed to amount to nothing based on the pressure you put me under. Finding this pride in themselves to come out clean. And it wasn't so much about what they wearing, but how they was wearing it. Yeah, you know, and they would take whatever it is. You know, if it's gun mode pants, they take the seam, you could cut paper with the seam, right? So that idea, because for me it speaks to resilience now, and a kind of pride. And so that is where that used to come from. So that is the culture I wanted to inculcate, that kind of Sagaboy culture. So that's where it really comes from, that idea of wearing something and feeling that kind of way. And
the name, I tell you that, the name is much more. Sagaboy, that is undefinite. It's not no mistaken, no nothing. Where that come from? You understand? Sagaboy. So, Omari, let me round it up in you started in the early days in the music. I mean, in the 80s you're talking about.
Yeah, early 90s, but 80s beginning, 1992 was the real start of the professional career.
And still,
successful one.
30 years.
Yeah.
Easily 30 years, and it's still here.
Yeah.
You know?
Still have my hand in the music, man.
Still have hand in the music.
Still have a studio. Yeah.
And what going on with
Kindred still in the game, man. Kindred is publishing something in he on the board at Cut. Yeah, he handling it. We don't talk every day, but we're brothers forever.
So we adults now, I mean, isn't it, you know?
So when we link, we link.
Yeah, the vibe.
Yeah.
So big brother, I want to thank you for coming in.
Yeah, man.
You know, it will be memorable as the first guest, right? Get a young African youth that listening to hear some piece of advice before we go.
Well, what I would want to say, right, is a couple of things. I want to say big respect for Tour for doing this because one of the things, I spoke to a student this morning, I teach, right, as a lecturer, and a student called me to do, she is doing a thesis on a particular thing, and she asked me about it. And she's speaking to me, she says, "Sir, Mr. Ashby, you know, you just talk a kind of way and your viewpoint so very potent. I think that you should do a podcast for people to be hearing this so that we could put some different ideas out into the atmosphere and things." And when I listen to that, I say, you know, it's important that we put in ideas through podcasts and things out into the atmosphere.
Correct.
Because we only get in one side of anything all the time.
All the
right?
time,
So this work that we're doing here is an important work. It might seem simple, it might seem small, it might seem, but it's critical in the thing. Because sometimes you click on something and you sit down and say, yeah, but give somebody an affirmation, or clue somebody into something. Right? In terms of advice for young Africans, I want to say this. You have to understand that the African is a whole person. So you have to see to your spiritual self. Mentally, you have to see to yourself. You have to see to your emotional self. We have to look at the best of the things that we've done. Because not everything we went through and do was correct. But we have to take the best of the things. Look at family life different. You know, that's so critical because our experience, our history, as they say, was interrupted by slavery. And that slavery was a serious interruption where family is concerned, where you reduce the African male to a buck. And even if you want to be with a woman, you have to go with this one, go with that one, and that come down through to we.
Yeah.
That way that we normalize this beating everybody all about the place. And so we had to get back to that idea, and not necessarily the Western idea of family, you know, because the African family wider than blood, but
community.
You had to get back to that idea of the strength of that, and always know that the pie not finite.
Yeah.
One of the things we just do is feel, boy, I have to hide this from a man.
Yeah.
Or I have to keep this close to my chest so that this man will know.
And
I don't believe in that at all. I believe in abundance.
Yeah.
True. And let me tell you something, I live my life that way. I never do nothing other than what I do, right? Right? I never count money in that kind of way. As a businessman, I dread, but yet still, my decisions not solely motivated by profit.
Profit, yeah.
Right? You have to lean into that abundance. Understand that the harvest is enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, and if they hold on to that, that community, that understanding that we have to share things, and males especially, the young men, nothing to tell him, Brethren, you love him because you are a real brethren. You have to love him. You have to love your brother. You have to love your brother. We can't shy away from that. You know what I mean? We have to lean into that. And the next thing I have to say this, right? We have a stigma as African male as a parent, right? I'm not saying that there are deadbeat dads out there, but we make it the deadbeat dads the normal or the standard, whereas that is not the norm. Because I will tell you, all my brethren and them is exemplary fathers.
Yes.
And I don't feel we so special.
No.
That's it. Like when I jump into the father game, I say like that, you know. There's the master name old or something backward. But you know, when you're in something, I start to notice other things now, like it now. So I move on with my daughter and thing, and I realize, look at how much other men doing children
doing this thing.
And you can see that the same time you spending with your child. But
the loudest noise is about the ones who is stepping up.
But the way you say about special, I don't look at I do nothing different with my daughter. My daughter, I don't want no award for that or nothing.
And also, it's not unicorn. They want to make you feel that unicorn. Look, you take a child. Not no unicorn. That's normal.
Exactly.
One of the things coming out of this Christmas season here, I want to say, because we talk something Holy night, me and my parents, when we come together. I bring them here for Holy night. I say I bring them in here with my family. And not just my parents, my children, my cousin thing. It was about 15 away so much, right? But one of the things that I particularly noticed coming out of this pandemic is family. The amount of black families that I was seeing on Facebook. People was laughing and talking about pajamas and things, but no, it's serious. People seeing the pandemic as a negative, but it has forced us to come back together as a family and just community thing.
Not just ceremonial, but you know, you becoming 15 or whatever years, you do about 6 months of classes with different elders from finance.
But they must know that too, to look forward to it and to be a part of it.
Right, and at the end of it is a celebration where we declare them a young adult. You know what I mean? And bring them into the world as such. But what it would give is a chance to pass on certain key things
information
that we do know, but we do have an official coming of age.
Medicine and things like that. I sit down talking to Maria father Dread, and when Pops come here, I tell him, I say, no, daddy, man say, boy, I show you what I bush in here. Seed on the leaf. I say, seed on the leaf. Me don't know what that look like. The man didn't even reach in the back, right on the corner. Right there growing out of the gravel. He said, just throw a piece of this in your tea and drink it. He said, I will clean your prostate. I said, what? I said, Daddy, don't know that. I'm serious. Things like that. That's important.
Them thing critical.
Because the Malcolm X, Malcolm X is one of the people I look to. Right? I am not a fan of Martin Luther King because that passiveness, they only promoted that. White America only promoted Martin Luther King because his passiveness was playing towards their benefit.
Their benefit.
Right? Malcolm X was telling you, spend my ocean. Imagine 50 years later, 60 years later, and we still have to say the same things. But Malcolm X, to paraphrase, yeah, say, well, if you don't think you come from greatness and you do nothing, you don't feel responsible to carry on. And that's so, and I add that to my father. My father say, you know, a Chinese boy go walk in town, an Indian child or a Syrian child go walk through town. And this is not a lash on them, this is a praise on the other ethnicities. And to show how we drop in the ball. He said they can walk through Port of Spain and just get inspiration by the names of business. This one and son, that one and son. But none of the names that we are accustomed to in the community, we really have no. When we had to change that.
No,
We
but
have a
I
change.
listen, and you have to, you see there's a way that my son does drawing, very good, drawing. But of course, you know, it's anime, plenty Japanese, white people. Leave him back good way. Leave him, because he's still coming in and thing, leave him, and they say, you don't draw weird what? Anybody would live there?
Yeah.
I see they ain't enjoying nobody looking like you. Right? And I just leave him with that. I white him. A year later, I hit him the same thing again. Right? He started to draw the other day again. You know, it's black people he drawing. Right? And
Proper.
And he started doing that. And I tell him, I say, listen, he start your own business, right? I make sure he start your own business. I say, when I start your own business, because you always want something from me, make your money, brother. Right?
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
And I just tell him, I go meet you halfway. What do you want? You want PS5? I say, well, yeah, come through with 1,000 and we go in hard. Who tell you he come through with 1,000? Right?
How old he is?
He turned 13.
Right. And I know, but I'm asking not to say because you know, plenty of we grew up in situations where they make that sound like something taboo.
Yeah.
No,
you know?
Here why I grew my child. From the time he could have 10, I gave him an iPad. He owned. He said, but we ain't doing anything. I said, what something? You know he learned to spell? Because every time you come and ask me to go on something, I don't know when you were about 4 or 5, you know. Daddy, I want to go. I said, no, I feel it out. You want to go? Start the type, and you know that thing that started, when the time he started typing, would have started coming.
Yeah.
She started, so when he started to read and thing, people started, I say, you feel like notice or what? And when I had a certain rule that I relax now, I tell him, I say, school time, there's no time for that. Right? And I didn't used to put it away now. So people that's hiding, I don't do that. I say, I leave it right there. But you want to know you can't touch it. But if you touch it, it has consequences. Right? Till now, he started to reason. So I just tell him now, I say, let me tell you something. I say, I'm not monitoring your work. It's for you to do. I say, but at the end of the term,
that would be
I say, your responsibility that I'm giving to you is that. I say, the only time I want to hear is to come and say, well, Daddy, I get some problems with this subject. I say, other than that, handle it in. I say, I'm not telling you how to do your homework, when to do your homework. I say, but you know we rule. Do what you have to do, so you can do what you want to do. I say, and he get already now, and as he lapse with that,
all fall down.
And I pull the plug on everything. So when he growing up now, he see me move so now, everything, and gone. You watch that.
So now,
they're serious. So when I tell him now, do what you have to do, so you can do what you want to do. He just understand. So now, he just come. I didn't ask him. He said, Daddy, I'm going on maths class starting now. He come back up, you finish. Think I get homework and everything. I do ask him and thing because you see, just have to. And I always explain things to my son. Like when he come with the I say PS5 thing. I say, well, you know what's going on, we're not paying that kind of money for it, right? I say, when you think cool down, because you wanted it for Christmas. You get it for Christmas, you're upset. I say, well, you can't be upset. I say, let me explain to you. I say, right now, if you buy that, you gotta pay a different kind of money for it. I say, and by next week, you're fed up by it, right?
Yeah.
So, let me cool it.
Till about February, so.
Thing, and when the thing settle, you will get that. Right? I think, I said, think about it a little bit. And I leave him. He go come back and you say, Daddy, I didn't think about it and it's making sense. Thing. That's why I just leave it him. Right? I just leave him to sort the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, give him that space.
Yeah.
Certain thing and people say, but how you just spend money and buy things? I said, my son don't give me no trouble, you know.
When you want help?
Yeah. Because when he come, once I make a demand, right, I say so is the case, this is what I'm expecting of you.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he don't lapse. When he lapse, I pull him square and say, yo, we don't drop it, so what's going on with you?
Yeah.
But I don't know that is not how we do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I say I give you a chance to straighten up. I say because if I have to straighten up for you, it's a different kind of thing, and I leave him there. Sometime over the thing, my teacher called me, he had 80 something assignment pending. Online school now.
Yeah.
I said 80 something because well he was thing when school was over, but when the online school he
relax.
Yeah. And TV and the 80 something thing. What? My pressure going up there, but I do go to him, so I deal with myself first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to him. I say, yo, what is this? I say, you already going mad. I say, yo, work it out for me. And when you work out how you're remedying this, come and tell me. Right? No, eh? No.
Fire.
Come back with a whole plan. Right? In 2 days, tell you they're done.
80 something assignments.
Yeah, because you know the kind of leeway at this game too now.
Yeah.
Because I just learn, because like I just tell him, I say, I trust you to do what is right.
Mm-hmm.
I say, when you do that, I want to treat you like a woman to treat you now.
Yeah.
Right? I say, right now, I just treat you different because really and truly, I'm ready to perform your performance. So I say, well, as long as you perform, it's not nothing you could ask me for that you will get now. I say, you might be able to get no.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you how you will get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I just drop it with him. So when he think, the other day he start now, getting the brand nice. There were brands and I said, well, let me tell you what brands does do, right? And I break it down for him, right? No, I say you can't get no brands in. Because you understand that age too.
Yeah.
But I say, but that can't be your focus because look at this. I say shoes are shoes and bam, and I break it down for him. I say, well, if you really want the shoes, you could work towards it. Right? I say, and if you work towards it, when you start to spend your money, partner, you talk about sensey money, right?
Money grew up one time.
The first set of money he make, because you sell your own t-shirt, right? He print and I just say, listen, it costing me extra printed, this for the t-shirt, there's your profit. I taking 10% of that and putting it aside for you. Right? So you have some money, you play, you think you make a 500, we go in the mall. What? One shot, all gone.
Done.
He started to say, you know that spends fast. I spend it all. I spend it all. I say, you spend, come here, I want to learn anything. He stop his study. He say, no, I should not buy anything. I say, no, you should not buy it, but now you know and you learn a hard lesson.
That's right.
Right? So now, partners.
Money smart.
Yeah, he mother now. He actually for a portion of the money for the
PS.
She ain't gave him that kind of money. She not on that with him. He's totally different parents, right? So when he buy, she's totally. She go game him, but she not giving him that kind of money.
Yeah.
She say, mommy say she gave him that kind of money. So when they gotta come up with the rest. So I think the difference was like $300 or something. So come and get that. But he want something now, he want something else. $300. I said, you could have it. Nah, but I see what
You want to put it on that tour, yeah.
You know, so that's you gotta drop it to them.
Yeah.
You know?
So we here, I ain't lying. You Swagg Culture is a trouble. I feel we gotta bring it back again. We gotta bring it back again because we have another elder I want to talk to. And I feel it's a conjunction kind of thing. But big brother, we thank you for passing through all the best and all the blessings.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Brother, so you know what we just do.
Goodness. You get them go put?
Goodness.
You get them go put?
I come with one, but we talk so much. Well, we can use them based on what you're saying here. Until Lions tell their own history. Tales of the Hunt will always glorify the hunter. So our history will always look like something to run from and be ashamed of, because the people who just tell it is the people who was victorious over us, for lack of a better way to put it. You know, do things like enslave or something now. But we have our own historians. We had the great Dr. John Henry Clark, Joseph Ben-Yakunan, Ivan Van Sertima, Walter Rodney. You know, we have Chancellor Williams, we have them. You know, look up some of them names.
CLR James.
CLR James, right here from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
You know, so look them up and all that. Stay safe next time.
Yeah.
This is a war.